All right, what's up? We are a couple of days late, actually a week late on our October the 2nd weekly review. However, let's go ahead and just take a look at our past performance here. These right here are our four trades from the 2nd. And we're going to go ahead and go through all of those here shortly. So what I want to do each time through these is to really just give an overview of what went well, what didn't go well, areas of improvement that I can have as a trader, and just really to use these as a reflective time to grow as a trader. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to this 27 call. Okay, so we put this trade on 9/22, right? Two contracts, 67 cents of credit. Current price was 2039. Okay, so let's go to that date, 9/22. All right. Let's actually get out of the 1 minute here. So let's go 9/22. We can still go a little bit further in. So 9/22. So we sold some calls on this particular day. Okay. And then, we got that back on which day? So on 9/25. All right. Brought back the entire position at 25 cents. Okay, so, we were really able to sell into this strength and really to cover much later, right? much later through that process. So sold those into strength, which is a great thing to do. So I feel really good about this particular trade, right? And so we netted $81 in profits after commissions. Okay, so now closed a 21.522 vertical. Okay, now there were a lot of contracts on this. So this I sold on 827. So let's go to 827. We're going to need to back up. Okay, so 827 on this candle right here. So I sold the 21.5. So I sold these right here. All right, and then we see all of the spikes. So I actually sold this at the beginning of the spike here. Okay, so let's go through. So sold at the beginning of the spike, took it off on 9/29. Okay, so 12 cents in credit, bought it back for $5 profit per contract, 20 contracts after commissions, $40. So essentially a scratch here. So sold here, bought back somewhere in this area. So really kind of right at the money. A little bit less, but basically in this trade I rode all of this and then I rode it back down, right? So rode the spike up and then rode the spike back down and was able by the second, right? So 10-2, let's see here. Okay, so 10-2, we were actually, if we had held till expiration, we would have been challenged. Ultimately it would have been fine, but we were indeed challenged on this particular position. So what's really important is I've adjusted my trading style a little bit. And so you can actually see here in this November 27th, essentially the exact same style of trade. And what I'm doing here is I'm selling one contract, right? I'm buying one contract. So still doing a vertical here. But the difference, right, and this is key, is that I'm doing one wider. Okay, so rather than side by side and a lot of contracts, I'm doing one wider. Okay, and so why is this important for me? One of the lessons that I learned in these kind of close to the money, at the money contracts, if I do them close like here, right, here's another one for next week's expiration, the 16th, is that they're really tight together and I got to do a lot of contracts, right? So I have 5 contracts here. And the reason that this is important is if I roll this trade, I'm going to take on significantly more risk here, right? So I'm going to take on significantly more of my buying power than if I'm just, taking on one contract size for example. Okay, so that is this trade. Ultimately, it worked out. Scratch trade after being down, completely down the entire time. However, I would have rolled this, wouldn't have liked to roll it because of how many contracts. It would have been really commission intensive as well as a lot of buying power, but that would have been okay. So now I want to show this, waiting for this to re-kick in, my profit chart for this particular trade. Okay, so we're going to take that off now. Closed a put vertical. So sold a 17.16 and a half on 822, right? So 822.20, so it was another big let the trade expire worthless, right? So I let that trade expire worthless, took in the entire credit, which is a solid trade. So really up until today, we haven't been challenged at 17, and so at any point during this spike or any of this couple of months, if we had sold a 17, we wouldn't have even been threatened. Up until yesterday, interestingly, 18 hadn't been threatened, and we'd only had a couple of times where 19 had been threatened, and that's why it's so important to watch these futures over here, right? And just what the futures do. Kind of don't pay a ton of attention to VIX. It's important, and especially when there's a difference between spot and your first and second month futures, right? And noticing if there's any divergences. However, for us, anytime prior to this week, selling the 17 puts would have been a really profitable trade, and that's exactly what we found here. Okay, so on the October 2nd, I made $341, which is a really exciting number, and I just wanted to show that due to the fact that it is $341 through all of these trades. Okay, so let's go to the UVXY iron condor. Put the trade on 922, 16, 19, 24, 30. So 922 to 924. Okay, 924, 16. So 922. So right here. Okay, we sold the 19s, which are down here. Sold the 24s, which are up here. So basically, we could have just let that continue to go through. We sold it about 10 days prior to expiration, which is a really solid time to go ahead and sell these iron condors. I like it. The one thing that has kind of steered me away from really two trades, and those would be like in the money straddles or in the money puts at all, or in the money straddle, right? So if we were to sell, this straddle right here, we can just do one, like 182, so 1782s are down, and then further down is 14. The thing that I haven't quite found a lot of comfort with is being naked on the calls and in the money, because I feel like there's less ability to handle a spike right, than if we just get blown by in the calls. That's also pretty frustrating. So that's why I've kind of steered away from a lot of puts. Every time I played the puts, I've gotten pretty burned on those, and so it's just trying to figure out and trying to navigate what works there. This one ended up working. Okay, this one ended up working, and I feel decent about that. So that's that. So $130 in profits after commissions. So on the whole, a really solid week. We went 4 for 4 on these trades for the October the 2nd expiration cycle, and it's it was a good week. It was a really good week, and I'm really happy with the week. I hit my profit target, which was of course about 1.1% net lick. So I was really nicely above that, which gives me some leeway going into the next week. And I can already tell you my October the 9th, while I've got some things going off worthless here, I lost a pretty big on a 17, 15 and a half put vertical. So that's gonna be what it is. So those are the trades. Those are the weekly recaps. On the whole, traded really well. We're just gonna continue to collect premium. Now, if you have any questions, reach out to me at Ryan, RYAN @sellthatoption. Otherwise, happy trading.